Hello, and welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Unmasking Your True Self. I'm Elisa Bogarts, your guide on this journey to discovering the most genuine version of yourself. Each episode is a step towards unveiling the incredible power that lies within you as we strip away all the shoulds and shine a light on the coulds. Together, we'll explore the path of self-empowerment, self-confidence, and the courage to be unapologetically you. Thank you for being here. So let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the keys to unlocking mindful leadership. My guest with me today is Michelle Ricketts. Overall health and fitness has always played a part in Michelle's life and continued to be important to her consulting approach today. As a process and systems guru with over 35 years of corporate experience, Michelle combines wellness and business acumen to guide executives and owners. She promotes health, fitness, and mindfulness to enhance decision-making, overcome setbacks, and increase revenue, empowering clients to take back time to do things that excite them so they can happy dance regularly. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Elisa. I'm really happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Me too. So tell us about how you sort of got into this field of work and why you're so passionate about it.
Absolutely. Well, after being restructured in corporate three times, I started in media, then logistics and transportation, and credit card processing on the back end with merchants. But I was restructured three times. And that sort of made me pause. I don't believe in not enjoying what you do in life, but I really didn't want to go back into the corporate world. And I had done an event series for entrepreneurs where I brought in speakers to share their tools and tactics so that the business owners could take that away, have more time to focus on what mattered to them in their life and their business. And so I wanted to help close that gap between the knowledge and the access to knowledge for business owners, and even in some cases for executives. And so that's really took me to my business as a consultant and bringing in mindful leadership, because I think a lot of times leaders, sometimes they're thrown into the foray and sometimes they go themselves, but we don't always think about how we lead others. And I've had experience early in my career that showed me that there is a right way and not such a right way of how you engage and lead others.
There absolutely is. And I've experienced both. And the right way is much more pleasant.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So if you were to give advice to someone who's wanting to live their true authentic self, what would you say?
It really is about engagement and honesty. So honesty both with ourselves and with others. And to have that proper, honest engagement, it's sometimes a little bit of opening that kimono, as we say, to show that you can be vulnerable. You don't know everything, and not to be afraid to ask questions. Doing those three things really allows us to engage with the other individual, whether it is someone that's managing us or someone we are managing. Being able to understand where that person is coming from, and both from a thought, from an instruction perspective, gives us that mindfulness that we're talking about to be able to work with that other individual.
I love that engagement and honesty. I really feel like if a lot of us did that more and we're more authentic in that way, that this world might be a better place and work environments would be a better place as well.
True.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So let's dive into what we want to talk about today. So there's keys to mindful leadership. What are those keys?
Well, the first one is what we've just touched on, which is the engagement. When I'm working with a client, or even when I'm talking to other people, when you say, "How are you?" "Hello, how are you?" For a lot of people, it's a greeting. And I say, it's not a greeting, it's a question. So really stopping to understand, and the person giving you an answer. When I start this work with clients, you may be amazed how hard some people find not saying fine or okay, and actually saying something about how they feel. You may be happy, sad, annoyed, whatever it is, having an amazing day that we can celebrate, but to actually share that. So that's sort of the first part of that engagement. And as a leader, it's listening. It's using those ears, as we say, you've got two ears in one mouth, listening to the response, and then maybe diving a little deeper as if it's a team member that you've gotten to know a little bit better, diving a little deeper and understanding the tone of what they're saying to you. Does it sound, are they saying that oh yeah, it's been a good day, but their body language isn't saying that. Or if they are celebrating something, wow, that was amazing. Tell me more about it. And the more we can ask questions around engagement, the more we're going to understand the other person's position and help them, good, bad, or otherwise, wherever they are, to move forward. So that
Oh,
engagement piece is really key.
yeah, I just love that so much. I remember when I worked in corporate, I had a manager who every day I'd walk in, she would always she started earlier than I did because she had to leave earlier. And I'd walk in, she'd be like, "Oh, good morning, Elisa. How are you?" And she never listened to the answer. And I eventually stopped answering. And she never
Yeah,
noticed that I
you never
didn't
know.
answer. So she would just say that. And I remember because sometimes I would say something more. I wouldn't just be like, fine, okay. I would actually be honest and say I was feeling and she would just be back on her computer typing, not even like acknowledging the answer at all. And then I eventually just started being like, fine, okay. And then I just actually stopped and it blew my mind that she didn't even realize that I didn't
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's great. It's a question.
know. Yeah, yeah. And so what's the next key to
Yeah, so
unlocking?
that's the first key, that is that engagement, that people piece. And then the next key is the tools that we use. So technology, having that help us and work with us to be able to work with others. So whether it's email, whether it's using AI, writing copy, whatever it is, using tools that help us to take pressure off ourselves, and or delegating someone else to do some things for us using tools, but how we use tools. And one of the key tools I help people with is their calendar and structuring
Mm,
and being able to bring things into their world through their calendar so it becomes an asset and not a liability. But then also, when we're looking at how we interact with others from a tools perspective, having something that makes it easy and not arduous. So I don't know if you're a Slack fan, but I know for a lot of people, Slack is, the way to communicate. I know for me,
mhm.
I find that just tedious. Whereas WhatsApp, I don't mind WhatsApp. It's fine, or text message. So it's understanding that communication in the way that the recipient might want to receive communication. It's something that I talk to younger people about all the time. They may not like to talk on a phone or face to face, but if you're dealing with a baby boomer, you're going to have to learn because
Yeah.
that's how they communicate, and vice versa. So it's having that bit of a give and take to
Mm,
say that you want to engage and use tools that help you engage, but your tool may be you actually face to face with somebody opposed to using a phone, and then using the actual technology tools to engage and have that communication with people and do what you do in your business and your life and help you be more effective. And again, take back some time if possible. So using tools effectively, and that's something that we look at as we start working with clients, is their technology. Is it helping them or is it making things more challenging?
yeah, for sure. I remember, again, when I worked at corporate, I was a project manager, and so I often had to lead sort of team building sort of things or do icebreakers and stuff like that. And whenever I would join a new team, I would always start off with this, where everybody started to share some stuff about themselves. But then I would go through and I would talk about that. Like, what is your communication style? How do you like to be communicated to? Or, 'cause like so with me, sometimes like I can answer shortly. I'll just be like, yes, no. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just like that's just, my style. Or I do
Yeah.
typos all the time. So if you see in Slack that it's been edited, it's not because I said something I regret and deleted it. It's because I have typos. And I remember, and I think that I really encourage people to be authentic about it because it was like, just say what you like and what you don't, and we can learn about each other and work better. Like some people even just said, on Slack, don't just message me, hey, and wait for my response.
Yes.
Just tell me whatever it is you're
Tell me
asking
what it is.
for. Like, he's
Yes,
like,
I
"That's
love that.
just
I
getting
absolutely agree.
hey, that's it," And it was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yes, because that's great to know because maybe I would do that and I'm not gonna deal with that person because I don't want them to be triggered and it's kind of start the conversation off and on the wrong foot?" So, I
Absolutely.
always thought that that was a super beneficial little exercise to do just to get to know each other a little bit better because we all have different styles?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
And not
for
taking
sure.
5 hours to have a conversation that's 5 words.
Right. Yes,
Right. Yeah. So yes,
exactly.
right. Looking at how I always say how the recipient and the receiver both want the information, and
Mhm.
then work something out between the two of you that works for both of you. For
Right.
sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And also, yeah, if you know that the other person maybe likes to have the more drawn out conversations or go deep into things, then you can at least have a little bit more patience for it. Or just know, like, I'm only going to engage with that person when I know I have 5 minutes, as opposed
Yeah,
to 30 seconds to need an
absolutely.
answer right now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so the third part to mindful leadership is self-care, health and wellness. And that really it brings in three things for me that have always been so key in my life. So it starts with food and nutrition, making sure that you're taking care of yourself that way, making sure you do eat, but when you are eating, it's not fast food and on the run, which for business owners is, sometimes the go-to, but it's preparing and knowing ahead of time, what am I going to eat? Taking something with you if you need to, and just managing that health and nutrition. The second part is exercise and doing something. I do various things, and I have all my life started with track and field and bodybuilding early on in my 20s and teens and 20s. And then over time, I was doing a lot of the gym for most of my life. But I changed about 10 years ago and doing a variety of things. So everything from a boxing class, yoga, high intensity training. I do circuit workouts. I still do a full body workout, but only once a week. And then I'll play tennis, and in the winter I snowboard and ski. So it's that variety. The variety keeps me interested, but in
Mhm.
the end of the day, it's fitness. So doing something, whatever works for you. If you're a runner, if you're a cyclist, whatever works for you at the time of day that works for you. I'm a morning workout person, and
Right.
that's what works best for me. But
Hmm.
being able to have those three elements, so your nutrition, your health and wellness, and then the third one is rest and sleep. And it may not be eight hours, it may be 10 hours. It's not about the time, it's about waking up and you feel rested. So whatever that is for you, that's what is the key. And so
Hmm.
get rid of the I'm supposed to do X. Just do what your body tells you it needs. Listen to your body, and those three things really tie in together for that third key of self-care.
Yeah, I love that. And I like how you said that too, or even how like tying in, we were saying it earlier, like helping people with their calendar, because I think that the wellness fits into that. Like I have some weeks where I will have day long, I'm going to be on Zoom all day. And then I'll also have some evening things, or like, it's
Yeah.
just, and I'll have these sort of 3-day events. And sometimes it'll be these 3 evening events that'll go until midnight or something. And sometimes they're back to back. Like I'll have an all day thing and an all evening thing. And so spending the time at the beginning of the week, even if like, let's say on a Sunday or something, and looking at that and being like, I'm not going to have time to prepare a meal. So I'm going to food prep now, looking at my
Yes.
week and looking at my calendar, knowing there's no opportunity and I don't want to just order in something. So I'm going to,
Yeah.
make things that I can, just easily eat or heat up or something like that.
Mhm.
Just because you're right, eating is so important. And I remember I worked with somebody and he was a bit of a bottleneck with the team. So he was always like doing stuff and it would be like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I was like, "You gotta go have lunch. Like, could you get out of here?" And he's like, "Oh, I just gotta finish this. I just gotta finish this." And I remember I had like a container of nuts, and I
Right.
just put them on his desk. I'm like, "Can you just snack on these?" Because he would just go to the vending machine and get a bag of Doritos. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, don't eat
So bad.
that."
Yeah. Get you
That's the
help.
only thing you're
Yes.
eating today. Don't eat that.
No,
Yeah, so I
very
remember I
true.
would just
Very
I would
true.
hand him little healthy snacks just to kind of, then eventually he would go eat. But I remember just thinking, you're not being your best self at work if you are, yeah, you're not getting enough sleep. You're not, taking care of yourself. You're not eating. Like you need that to fuel yourself so you can do your best work and be, the best mindful leader that you could be. So,
Yes, absolutely. So
mm,
yeah, so those are the three keys, as I say, engagement, the tools, using the tools the right way, and then self-care, and they tie together. And being a mindful leader, you're utilizing all of those in various ways.
thank you so much for that. So, as we wrap up here, where can our listeners find you online?
Well, I'm on all the social platforms. Michelle Ricketts, also Cohesion is my company name, so you can find me there as well. And I will share with you a Tenacious Leader scorecard so that
Nice.
you can share that with your listeners, and they can see where they are on that sort of level of being able to get through stuff and do stuff to that cuts thrown at you in life. and see where they are on that level of being a tenacious leader, but still being mindful about it.
Awesome. I think I'm going to take that. I'm excited about that. Get the link of that in the freebie vault. So make sure you go there. So to finish us off, do you have any sort of final words of wisdom?
I will just say that being a leader in general is all about communication and listening to others, whether you're a leader of people leader in corporate or your business, an association, maybe you're a coach of a team, or you're the leader at home. However you show up as a leader, ensure that you do it listening, taking care of others, and taking care of yourself. And that is going to bring you far, far in life and allow you to reach your goals.
I'm so glad that you touched on that because it's so true. Like we think of leadership and we think of management, directors, C-levels, SVPs, or whatever. But actually, we are leaders in our own right. And it's interesting when you get put into, even over Zoom, you get put into a breakout room or something, and a natural leader sort of appears. And I remember once I did this, I think we were learning about how to do like outdoor activities. I was like part of some sporting thing. And so we're just doing this stuff. And then we did some activities and everybody's like, and then he asked like, who was the leader in that? And I was like, oh, I think it was that guy. And there he was like, no, it was you. You actually led that group, but you didn't necessarily start the activity, but you led the group. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Didn't even realize.
Didn't think about it. No, that's great. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's
Thank
been
you
such
so
a
much.
pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically, so please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.